And welcome to this series that I've labeled Sales and Marketing Career Path for Pharmacists. And my name is Libert Bethwell, and I'm in the sales and marketing space in the pharmacy industry. I'm the head of marketing and product management in one of the leading pharmaceutical distributors here in Kenya. And in this series, one of the outcomes or learning outcomes that you should expect is to have an understanding of sales and marketing as a career option for pharmacists within the pharma space. And so I've divided this series into 5 main parts, as you can see on the screen, labeled them part 1 to part 5. In video 1, which is this particular video, we'll be looking at the medical versus the commercial part of pharma business or pharma industry. Pharma industry is divided into two main different parts, that is the medical part and the commercial part. And under these two parts, there are different roles that come about that you may consider or begin honing your skills towards. The second video, we shall be looking at why a career in pharma sales and marketing. Why you as a pharmacist, you should consider sales and marketing as a career option, and why your training as a pharmacist positions you or put you at a vantage position for these particular positions. The third video, we shall do a video on entry point into pharma sales and marketing. Where do you begin your journey into sales and marketing in pharma space? That is a video that we'll be doing, the third part of this series. The fourth video will be a video on skill set that you need in pharma sales and marketing. What are some of the soft skills or hard skills, if you may call them that way, that you need so as to thrive in this particular space? And lastly, we shall have a video on career progression in pharma sales and marketing. And I believe at the end of this 5-part series, you'll have a good understanding of what sales and marketing in pharma space it's all about. And so let's begin this first video, which I've labeled medical versus commercial part in pharma. It's important to understand these two parts so that you begin to appreciate which area you would like to pursue as a career option. And under this particular video, we have these particular learning outcomes, or I may call it objectives that we intend to achieve by the end of this video. By the end of this video, you should be able to understand why this matter, or why understanding, or why this series really matters. Secondly, you should be able to have an overview of pharmaceutical industry functions. Third, you should be able to understand the medical side of pharma industry and what it entails. Fourth, you should be able to understand the commercial side of pharma industry and what it entails. Fifth, you should be able to tell the key differences between the two. Sixth, you should be able to tell the skills that you need for each side of the pharma industry. 7, you should be able to tell which path is right for you. And I'll guide you through each of these aspects even as we proceed with this particular video or first session. And just to mention, before even we begin why this matter, if you are yet to subscribe to this particular YouTube channel, please feel free to do so by clicking the subscription button that you can see on your screen. And also you can put on the notification button so that when I upload new videos on different aspects of pharma practice or personal development or professional growth, you receive notification right on your phone so that you can check them out in good time. So let's begin. Why does understanding the difference between medical and commercial side of pharma business matter? Number one, as a pharmacist, of course, you're trained, you've gone through undergraduate, or you're still a student at undergraduate level. As a pharmacist, you are uniquely positioned with clinical, regulatory, and therapeutic knowledge. And this is mainly informed by the nature of the curriculum that you go through, or the curriculum that is used in teaching you or training you to be a pharmacist. It's so rich in clinical knowledge or clinical training. It's so rich in regulatory aspect. I remember in my undergraduate, I did a unit called Law and Ethics, and I did that unit from third year, must have been from third year, fourth year, and then fifth year. That is Law and Ethics, and it taught me a lot about the regulatory space. It taught me about the CAP 244, which is an act of parliament that governs the practice of pharmacy and trade in pharmaceutical products or health products and technologies in the country. And that gave me an understanding of the law that governs the pharma space in the country. And also, you're equipped with the knowledge on therapeutic, you're equipped with therapeutic knowledge. And this is just an understanding in the different therapeutic areas. Now, combine these three, it gives you a vantaged position to take up these positions in the pharma space, both in medical and commercial side. Secondly, why this matter? It's because of the multiple career paths that exist outside the hospital or retail pharmacy. And it's interesting, the current problem that we are facing in the country, especially in the pharma space, and I'm talking about Kenya as a country, and of course, other East African countries. I've had opportunities to converse with pharmacists in Uganda, Tanzania, and it seems, and also West Africa, and it seems to be a problem that cuts across. We have quite a huge number of graduates coming out of school, and it's not that already we have sufficient pharmacists in the country. It's because the government is not absorbing as many pharmacists as it should, and so it's causing an saturation of graduates in the market space, in the job market space. And this means that there are limited opportunities in the hospital setup or retail pharmacy, which are considered to be conventional spaces of practice of pharmacy for pharmacists. And it calls now, therefore, for us to explore what other options do we have outside of the conventional space of pharmacy or practice of pharmacy. And this is where sales and marketing comes in. So it opens you up to multiple career pathways that perhaps you may not be knowing, but now after this series, I know you'll be knowing these career options and you'll begin preparing early in advance. The third reason why this matter, it's because you need to understand industry roles. It gives an understanding of industry roles, which will help you align your interest and skills. It's important to understand the options that are available out there early enough. I always say that you prepare for campus life while still in high school. You get the grades that take you to campus while in high school. You prepare for high school while you're in primary school. And this concept or analogy, I picked it from one of my mentors, that you prepare for your career while you're still in campus. And so having knowledge of the options that are available out here will enable you to begin channeling your energy, your resources, how you spend your time, your networking, your circles that you surround yourself with, in the right direction. For instance, if you opt for a career path or a career in sales and marketing, you'll begin way early enough to identify with pharmacists who've gone ahead of you who are in sales and marketing. Ask them questions, how they got there, and by that you begin mapping out your journey. So this is the third reason why this series matters. All right. I would like us to have an overview of the pharmaceutical industry. It's important to begin there. We lay a foundation and then we build upon it. So we look at the overview of the pharmaceutical industry, and here is a breakdown of pharma industry at a glance. We have what we call the research and development part or department. We have what you call the regulatory affairs. We have medical affairs. We have marketing and sales, which we'll be talking about. We have market access, which also we'll talk about in a different video. We have pharmacovigilance, and we have supply chain. Now, most of these roles, I have a separate series of videos that will come after this, the one I'm sharing on sales and marketing, going in depth and explaining what each of these roles entails. But for now, we'll stick at sales and marketing because that is meant for this video. After you're done with this series, then we'll have an opportunity to look at the different roles I've talked about, the regulatory affairs. Which career options do you have when you decide to pursue the path of regulatory affairs? Because it's not just about dossier submission and drug registration. We have a multiple of career options you may consider under regulatory affairs. When you talk about market access, what does it mean? When you talk about medical affairs, what does it mean? Pharmacovigilance, what does it mean? So I'll make series of videos for each of these roles that now will be able to explain to you the steps you need to take to move into each of them. But for now, we stick at marketing and sales. All right. Let's look at the medical side of pharma industry and what it entails. I remember I had mentioned as we began that we have the medical side and we have the commercial side. In this particular video, I'm dedicating it to differentiate between the medical side and the commercial side. And when you talk about the medical side, it's focused mainly on scientific integrity. It focuses on the safety of the product and education. And this pharma marketing is way different from marketing of any other products. The other products, we call them fast moving consumer goods. You may hear the abbreviation FMCG. Maybe I'll do a video that differentiates between marketing of FMCG and pharma products. An example of FMCG is something like tissue paper. That's an FMCG. You talk about cooking flour, you talk about cooking oil, those are FMCG, fast moving consumer goods. But when you talk about pharma products, its marketing is totally different. And so it has to be backed by evidence, it has to be backed by science. And that's why we talk about scientific integrity. The discussions revolve around science. Talk about the safety of the product, talk about the education of the healthcare providers, and also the medical sales representatives. The key functions under medical side of pharma industry, we have four main. We have the medical affairs. Remember I said that I'll be able to talk about it later on. We have pharmacovigilance, which mainly rotates around drug safety, post-market surveillance, and all that. We have regulatory affairs, and finally, we have clinical research. These are key functions of the medical side of pharmaceutical industry. The roles that come about in the medical side include the following. We have medical science liaison, what is commonly known as MSL. We'll also have a video just going in depth on that. We have medical advisor, we have drug safety officer, and we have clinical research associate. So these are roles that you may aim to get into if you intend to get into the medical side of pharma industry. As a pharmacist, with the training you have, you may step into the MSL role, you may step into the medical advisor role, you may step into the drug safety officer role, which is in some companies you'll hear abbreviations such as QPPV, qualified persons for pharmacovigilance. And this is a role that pharmacists qualify for. We have clinical research associate. If you intend to work with companies such as IQVIA that do clinical trials, that is a role you may want to step into, right? And yeah. Now let's look at the commercial. Let's look at the commercial side of pharma industry and what it entails. This part or commercial side, it's mainly focused on product promotion, it's focused on strategy, and it's focused on growth. You remember you said the medical side is focused on scientific integrity, it's focused on education, it's focused on safety of the product. But now the commercial side, you're focusing on the product promotion, you're focusing on strategy, and you're focusing on growth. And we have key functions of the commercial side. Sorry, this is not meant to be medical side, but commercial side. We have sales and marketing, what we're talking about. We have market access, which we'll talk about. We have product management, and we have commercial strategy. Some of the roles that come about as from commercial side of pharma industry, we have medical sales representative. That's like an entry level. MSR, so you'll hear that abbreviation, when you come into sales and marketing space. MSRs refer to medical sales representative. We have product manager, we have brand manager, we have market access manager. So we'll talk about these roles in videos that are to come. Let's look at the key differences now between the two, and we have a very good pictorial representation, if I may put it that way, of the key differences, features, and then the key differences between the medical side and the commercial side. So when you look at the goal of the medical side versus the goal of the commercial side, in the medical side, the goal of medical side is to ensure scientific accuracy. The message being communicated, it's accurate, it's backed by evidence, it's backed by studies that have been done. And in the commercial side, the goal is always to drive product uptake. You need to see the numbers growing. You need to see more patients using your product. You need to see more healthcare professionals who are called HCPs prescribing your product or dispensing your product if they are at the pharmacy level. When it comes to communication style, at the medical side, it's evidence based. You remember I said any communication, any medical claim has to be backed by science. It's peer to peer. You organize a continuous medical education. You invite a healthcare professional. You invite a healthcare professional who takes other HCPs through your product or science behind your product. When you talk about the communication style in commercial side, it's value based, it's persuasive. When you talk about the target audience, on medical side, the target audience, they are HCPs, the regulators, the researchers. But when you talk about the target audience under the commercial side, you talk about HCPs is simply healthcare professionals. You talk about the procurement, you talk about the payers. Payers are insurance companies. These are people that you need to engage with when you're in the commercial side of pharma business, because you have to negotiate with them the prices. Under the procurement, you negotiate with them the stocking of your product. You negotiate with them about the run rates of the product or consuming rate of the product. The HCPs are healthcare professionals who prescribe your product, who ensure that they're stocked and all that. When you talk about the key performance indices under the medical side of pharma industry, you're talking about the compliance side. You're talking about insights that can be derived or that can be generated from data given by medical sales representatives. You're talking about the safety of the product. But when you look at the commercial side, the KPIs, you're talking about the sales volume, you're talking about the market share of your product. The tone of communication in the medical side is normally informative. You are informing, you are sharing information. But on the commercial side, the tone of communication is promotional. Your objective is to drive uptake, is to drive stocking of your product, is to drive prescription of your product. Okay. So those are the key differences between the medical side and the commercial side of pharma industry. Please feel free to drop your questions in the comment section. I'll be very much glad to respond to them. Drop your questions in the comment section. I'll respond to them. All right, let's look at the skills that you need from the medical side of pharma industry. If you're considering to step in the medical side, what skills do you need? Number one, you need deep scientific knowledge. You need knowledge about the molecules. You need two sets of knowledge. You need the disease area knowledge and you need the product knowledge. The disease area knowledge, you simply need to understand the condition for which your molecule is prescribed. And then you need the product knowledge. You need to know the mechanism of action, pharmacodynamics, pharmacokinetics, adverse drug reaction, drug-drug interaction, drug-food interaction. You need all that information so that when you show up, you're able to educate. Okay. You need excellent communication with HCPs, excellent communication skills, both in written and spoken form. You need to be articulate in how you communicate. And I'm glad that communication is a skill that is learnable. You can learn communication. It's not a skill that one needs to be born with. You can learn communication by reading books on communication, putting it into practice, listening to podcasts, putting the communication skills that you picked in podcasts into practice. You need to have a good understanding of ethics and compliance that govern the pharma space. You need a good understanding of marketing ethics. There are codes of ethics in different jurisdictions. For instance, in Kenya, the Pharmacy and Poisons Board is the regulator in charge of pharma business, and they have a code of that guides the marketing of and sales of healthcare products and technologies. There are countries that are ascribed to what we call IFPMA, which is a marketing code for countries, especially in Europe and America, that you may need to check. It's available online. IFPMA. And in Kenya, we have guidelines on marketing, sales and marketing of healthcare products and technologies. You need critical appraisal of literature. You need to understand the different types of literature. You need to understand the different types of studies that are out there that you may use to back up the medical claims that you make about your product. You need to understand the studies, how they were done. Was it multi-site or single site? You need to understand when someone talks about double-blind studies, what do they mean? When they talk about prospective or retrospective studies, what do they mean? When they talk about meta study, what do they really mean? You need a good understanding of that. Okay. All right. What skills do you need for the commercial side of pharma business? You need strong interpersonal skills. You remember we said the goal of communication is persuasive, it's not informing, it's persuasive. You need to persuade the people you're interacting with to stock your products. You need to persuade them to prescribe your product, of course being backed by science. So you need strong interpersonal skills. You need to build relationships. You need to be very strategic and creative in thinking, because your goal is about the numbers, the uptake of your product, and you need strategy to be able to ensure that you're on track with your numbers. You need market and customer understanding. You need to be versed in how to profile your market. You need to be skilled in how to profile your customers, anticipated behaviors, and how you can communicate the values or the benefits of your product to them. You need to be good at identifying their needs, and then you provide a solution to their needs through your product. That's how you sell and market your product. You need to be very good in making decisions that are data driven. So if you're not good with Excels, this is a very good if you're still in undergraduate, it's a very good time for you to begin familiarizing yourself with Excel sheets, how to analyze data on Excel sheets and draw insights from that particular data. It really comes in handy. Now, which path is right for you? That's a very good question. Now, you could be wondering, you've talked about the medical side and the commercial side, but how do I know that I'm fit for the medical side, or how do I know I'm fit for the commercial side? I have a few pointers here that you may use to be able to gauge which path is right for you. Number one is, do you enjoy translating science into clear insight? That's a question you need to ask yourself. Do you enjoy translating science into clear insight? And if your answer is yes, then the medical side might be a space for you. Or do you enjoy crafting persuasive strategies to grow a brand? If your answer is yes, then the commercial side, it might be a place for you. The second set of questions you need to ask yourself is, are you more detail oriented and analytical? If that is the case, then the medical side, it's a space for you. Or are you visionary and market oriented? If that be the case, then the commercial side, it's a space you may want to consider. And lastly, the last set of questions is, do you thrive in structured, compliance focused environments? If your answer is yes, then the medical side might be for you. Or do you thrive in fast paced, target driven settings? If that be the case, then the commercial side is a space you may want to consider. Now, with these three sets of questions, if you sit and analyze really well, then you may be able to see where your pointer is heading towards. Then you may begin honing your skills towards that direction. Let me put a disclaimer. If your pointer heads towards maybe in the medical side, and then you begin digging deep and you get to realize where this might not be my path, there's no harm in changing direction, because it's good to change direction early enough, other than you go, you pursue, you go deeper, and then time has moved. By the time you think about changing direction, you have very little bandwidth. So try, see where your interests are, see what sets fire in your heart, and then pursue and double down into it. I hope that has been informative. I hope that you've picked a thing or two in this first video. I hope that in the remaining 4 videos, I'll be able to dissect really well and help you even to make a more informed decision when it comes to pharma sales and marketing. Remember, I've said if you have any questions or point of clarity that you may need, feel free to drop it in the comment section. I'll be able to respond to the questions before I begin my next session, or when I'll be sharing the next video. I'll take the first couple of minutes to respond to the questions, and then we dive in. Thank you so much, and remember, subscribe, hit the like button, drop a comment, hit the notification button. See you next time. Bye bye.